really just wanted to thank my 8th period teacher for being really kind about this and printing this speech for me. You know, like obviously teachers can't get involved in these, but the fact that she supported my ability to do this was amazing. Hello to all of the amazing allies in the Chantilly community. We are gathered here today to oppose the hateful policies put in place by Glenn Youngkin's Virginia Department of Education. When he ran for governor, Youngkin claimed that he wanted to return excellence into our schools. But our amazing school, that's right here, is now in dire straits. In our governor's world, excellence means shunning transgender students from our school community, making them feel inferior, and terrorizing them to comply with rules and regulations that conflict with their identity. So I'd like to talk a bit to all the cisgendered people out there who, might have had...
Listen up!
Thank you.
You're gonna talk, go away!
Thank you. I'd like to talk to all the cisgendered people out there, myself included. You feel comfortable self-identifying with the biological gender, your biological gender, I'd assume. And if I asked you to go to a restroom of the opposite gender, you would be vehemently opposed to that directive because you do not identify with that gender. So imagine now that a governor who doesn't know your life, your situation, how many times you've struggled with your identity, tells you to go into that bathroom that you don't identify with. That sounds more like a policy out of like an autocratic right-wing government, not the American government that we are all under. And for transgender people, this is another wound in their struggle for identity. Glenn Youngkin does not know how many times they were beat up, called slurs, and shunned by others for being trans. And you know what? We might be more conscious than he is, but guess what? We don't know either, unless we've lived it. But with that, we understand the importance of acceptance and mitigating any pain they have felt by allowing them to be who we are. That is what members of the Chantilly community do. That is what Virginians do. And that is what Americans do too. Look, I'm sure Youngkin himself, he might be a fine dad on a personal level, but him blindly wanting to expand parents' rights is an attack on us and an attack on schools. Transgender youth have been shunned from their families, compelled in some cases to undergo painful sex changes, and at the hands of their families who simply cannot accept who they are. We might not be able to control these despicable actions, but what we can do is provide a safe haven for these youth. And right now, our school is being forced to abandon that responsibility. Now, as I conclude my remarks today, I'd like to do two things. First, I want to speak directly to our governor, Glenn Youngkin. Governor Youngkin, the students of Chantilly High School are scared. They are afraid of what is coming to our school. We love everyone here. We are a tight-knit community, and I do not understand why you think that you can take that away from us. We have love for everyone, straight, gay, or trans, and no one has ever had an issue with identifying with their pronouns here at school, at least in the last few years, and we are happier that way. Instead of hiding in Richmond like you're doing now, come up here and explain this policy to your constituents. Virginia has so many school-age children, and we matter. So I'd welcome everyone out here today to send this to your office, to his office, or send it to people who can get it to him, and he can explain to our community how this will help bring us together. We're waiting, Governor Youngkin. Second, I'd like to talk directly to the members of the Chantilly community, parents, teachers, and students, but mainly our valued transgender members of our community. I want you to know that we share your concerns, and we are fighting for you. We love you and care about you, and that's more than the government of Richmond can ever say right now. We all need to stand together and show our state government and show Americans that Virginians are not complicit. Virginians do not let ideologues regress our Commonwealth. We're moving forward, and I know you and I and everyone here will not stop until we defeat this hateful policy. Write to the governor, send out emails to defend the values of our community. Thank you so much, guys.